Hello and welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 steps that will help your child eat better in 2021. Before I begin, I must say that I am not a pediatrician, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm just your average mom sharing her personal experience plus some research that I have personally done. So before you start your baby on baby foods, make sure you consult your pediatrician. And also maybe every now and then I might look into my notes because I have a lot of points here, so bear that in mind as well. To begin, I'm going to start with advice number 1, and that will be to have a healthy family kitchen. If we look in the market today, the amount of children food that we see leads parents to believe that children need a special diet. The takeaway here is that most foods that are healthy for us grown-ups are healthy for children as well, except children cannot eat spicy foods, they cannot eat large quantities of legumes, and they obviously cannot eat large quantities of food in general. So if you are a parent, start this year with a healthy family kitchen with fresh foods, and this will be the basis to making your child want to have something healthy. So for my advice number 2, that will be to ask yourself, how do you feed yourselves as parents? Do not underestimate your role as a role model. So ask yourself this question: do you eat balanced meals, or can you improve your meals as a family? Action speaks louder than words. So if you are not doing so already, make sure you start cooking more healthy this year, and slowly but surely your child's appetite for eating healthy meals will develop, and in the best case for a lifetime. For advice number 3, that will be to go as natural as possible. So commercial foods and snacks are very tempting, and having one now and then is totally okay. But however, making this a permanent everyday habit should not be the case, because what they do is they contain many additives, too much sugar, too much salt, and what this does is it shapes the taste of your child from an early age. If you want your child to eat better in 2021, start by cooking more often and more healthy. And if let's say that you do not enjoy grocery shopping and that restricts you from cooking, well, with coronavirus now, all supermarkets are doing home delivery, so you can just jump on this trend, and this way you will always have some fresh ingredients delivered to you, and you will be able to whip up stuff easily and quickly in no time. So for my advice number 4, that will be to try and provide variety. Eating the same meal like 3 or 4 times in a week because you love it so much is totally fine, but do not forget that if you have a child who is learning about food, you need to change it up. So let's say you have pumpkin today, make carrot tomorrow, and make strawberry the next day, because know that no food provides us with all the nutrients that we need. It's only through diversity that your child will have his or her extra portion of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. So get creative while being careful, and think about foods like cabbage, celery, green beans, cauliflower, and so on. Advice number 5, that will be getting familiar. Again, what do I mean by this? So there is this saying, what the farmer doesn't know, he doesn't eat. And this saying applies to children as well. When it comes to introducing new foods, some tricks are allowed. And I'm going to make an example so you can it can digest well. So let's say that your child's favorite meal is pasta with nothing. What you can do here is that you make the pasta, and then maybe you take some tomato, you cut it up into small pieces, and you put it underneath the pasta and you present it to your child. This way, combining the new, which is the tomato, to the old, that is the pasta that your child already knows, the new is normally better received. So my advice here will be to be patient and do not cross rejected vegetables from your meal completely. Instead, try to present them in different ways. Maybe try pan frying it, try giving it to your child to just nibble on, or you can mash it up into soups. Know that every child has his or her own personal preference, so you should find out your child's preference. For my 6th advice, that is, food should be delicious. And for example, if we take bell pepper, okay, bell pepper is healthy. We all know that. But for a child, if you present bell pepper and you say, eat this, baby is healthy, most children, the term healthy has a negative implication. So instead of using the term healthy, you say something like, oh, this is so delicious, baby. Here, have a taste. And you actually make it taste delicious. So of course, you can just cut some bell pepper and give it to your child to snack on. But I would say, why not maybe cut it up into cubes, throw some onions, some oil, and some tomato, mix it together, and pan fry it a bit, put it on top of some rice, and this will taste delicious. You have a taste, you say how delicious it is, and you give it to your baby. Of course, they will also eat it. For my advice number 7, that will be to listen to the body. Eating with pleasure is only possible in a good mood. And this certainly doesn't happen if your child has to finish his or her plate under pressure. So as parents, if we pay attention, we will see that children have a natural feeling for hunger. So the key to a relaxed atmosphere when feeding a child or when eating is to let the child decide for him or herself how much they want to eat and when they are full. And do not just push the food on your child. And this brings me to advice number 8. And this is in connection with advice number 7, because number 8 is to stimulate appetite. So we all know that children have a small energy storage, and this means they should eat more regularly. But with that being said, that doesn't mean you should let your kid be snacking constantly throughout the day, because if there are cookies and candies in between meals, 1 hour later when food is presented, not much will fit into the stomach. So my advice here will be, you should let your children, or at least I let my children, take breaks in between meals. And it can be anything from 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on how old your child is. This way, they're hungry enough, and when food is presented, they eat as much as possible. What I practice personally is we eat 3 main meals in a day. So we have breakfast, which is almost all the time oatmeal, and we will have it with maybe some banana bread that I make myself, some pumpkin bread, or some bread with jelly. And then for lunch, we will also eat something warm again. So it will be maybe soup, it can be spaghetti, it can be maybe a toast sandwich with some chips. And then for dinner, we have, again, something warm. It can be mashed potato, it can be rice, you name it. And then with the 3 meals, they can be, you can decide for your own family what suits your family lifestyle best. So with the 3 main meals, you can add 2 healthy snacks in between. And this brings us to my advice number 9. For advice number 9, that will be to have simple snacking rules. This point is so important if you want your child to eat better in 2021, because when it comes to the taste sweets, that is the first taste that babies perceive and usually continues to like. And we all know that sugar provides a lot of energy. Before I continue, so I read an article a few weeks ago, and in that article, it was about how children get along with sugar. And it stated that a child should not have more than 6% of their daily energy intake with sugar. And this corresponds to 3 teaspoons of sugar. However, in the article, it said that most children consume an average amount of 8 teaspoons of sugar per day. That is a lot of sugar. So what can we do with this? We cannot just ban our kids when it comes to sugar. So my advice here will be, I think a strict ban only makes it more interesting. So instead, set some snacking rules. If your child is old enough, get your child involved, and you can decide how it looks like. And you do this depending on your own family lifestyle. And I think most children will get along with it fine as far as they are involved and are allowed to take part when it comes to deciding the rules. That is, if your child is old enough. If not old enough, then you are the boss and you set the rules. So in my own family, I do practice some snacking rules. And the first one that is a no-go for me and my kids is snacking before breakfast. So that is a big no-no. You are not allowed to do that. And the second one that I practice is snacking before meals. I do not do that as well, because that only fills the stomach, and when food is presented, they cannot eat enough. So the third snacking rule that I practice with my kids is once a day there is something sweet. And this, I haven't totally succeeded yet. I'm still working on it. So I let them decide what they want it to be. It can be a piece of cake, it can be cookies, it can be strudel with ice cream, it can be candy. I let them pick it. And then the fourth snacking rule that we practice is snacking by the table. This point is so important as well. And it is better to be snacking by the table than to be playing and then sneaking them in, because that way you cannot keep track of how much sugar your child is having. For my last but not the least advice number 10, that is participating. And once your kids are old enough, you should let them take part in the kitchen. So for me, personally, my kids love coming in the kitchen and helping me. So let's say even if it is something so simple like washing carrots or just putting some butter on bread, once the food is prepared, they help you do it. The food is done, it is set on the table. They feel so proud and they are so happy to eat it, because you tell them, oh, see, you made it. Oh, it looks so yummy. Let's eat it together. And that makes them happy. You shouldn't forget that what children like is related to what they already know. So I hope you find these 10 steps to make your child eat better in 2021 helpful. And if you are practicing them already, that is great. And if you are not doing so, make sure you start now if you have children and you want them to eat better starting from this year. If you have any advice or you have any personal experience, share them with us in the description box below. I'm sure most moms, just like me, will be happy to read them, because I'm always looking out for things that will make me even a much more better mom. So thank you so much for watching. And if you did find it helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to You and Me Equals 3 if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.